Hello lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a mini vlog because, well, I don't know what I want to talk about this week and I thought I'd just do a mini vlog. Honestly, lately I haven't been reading that much. I have been reading and listening to my audiobooks, and honestly, one of my audiobooks I'm currently listening to is a 4-part book series, and I'm on book 2. And it's like I need to break out a notebook halfway through every now and again to try and work out the connections, because it's a Why Choose Dark Romance with a secret society plot underline. And like, that's where my secret society video came from as well. And I'm just like there, always struggling and like trying to work out, okay, this leads to this, leads to this, and I'm like trying to work out who the secret society is. And I was like, oh, this is stressing me out. This is stressing me out. And then I'm also reading Fake It Till You Make It. I love the cover of that book. That is such a good book, but I'm finding it quite repetitive at the minute because I'm in the middle part. And it feels like things are dragging on and then the same things are being trudged back up, and it's really draining. And I don't like putting down books once I've started reading it. So I'm like at this weird still point where I was like, I want to read, but the books that I'm reading aren't that intriguing because either one is too content heavy and it's so jumbled that it's really hard to work out, because they'll completely change the storyline of a chapter halfway through a chapter of the book. The audiobook is like something dramatic really happens, or like one of the main love interests sneak into the room, and suddenly it's a day later in the school and they're talking about a completely different thing. It's like, okay, what just happened? Like, there's about to be a scene that clearly should have been there because you cut off right as he entered the room and then jumped like an entire day in the future. And it's really irritating because I'm just like, okay, but did they do stuff? Did they talk? Did they just sleep there? Like, also, which male main character was it? Because you just do the voices, and half the time they don't address each other by names. Also, key like pet peeve. Um, when doing audiobooks, or like you have a why choose, really would be helpful if either the characters are very distinctively different in appearance from each other, or you state their names when they appear. Because, oh, with the audiobook, I don't know which voice actor is reading for which voice, and I'm just stressed because I'm like, whose voice is whose? I don't know. And I'm just there, stressed out. Because I'm like, I know I like Maxwell's voice. I think it's Maxwell. I don't know anymore. I don't know, honestly. The book's stressing me out because there's that much going on. And, like, it's a good read, but there's so much going on, I don't know what's going on. And then I tried to switch paces, and I'm back in a book that's just rehashing the same plot line. And I'm like, I need a different book, but then I have 3 books in the go. So I'm kind of just having, like, a little moment with all of that. But anyway, that's a side issue. On other notes, I keep wanting to like find books that link to different film and TV characters because I love film and TV. I want to enter the film industry in a couple of years down the line once I finish uni, and I love looking at film and TV characters and trying to find different like characters that link within the books, or characters that have similar like archetypes and personalities and situations. Because I always really enjoy finding books that way, because then I know that I'm going to kind of like it because it has something I already like in it, so I'm more likely to be more intrigued to read it. Like, oh, like Gilmore Girls. Oh, I'm waiting for it to be, for like there to be a proper rainy day, so then I can just curl up on my sofa and just watch Gilmore Girls with a hot cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate. Probably coffee, but I don't have a ridiculously big mug yet. I need more ridiculously big mugs, okay? Because the more ridiculously big mugs I have, the more I can watch Gilmore Girls whenever Larry and Luke can have a ridiculously big cup. Anyway, I feel like I'm going on a really big tangent this week because like I haven't read that much, which I feel guilty about because I like reading and I want to read, and I have a bunch of books that are just staring at me that I haven't read, but at the same time I don't want to read because I'm already reading 2 books. It's a really complicated relationship. I'm also watching Dawson's Creek for the first time, and I have a lot of thoughts on that I'm going to quickly whack through. First up, I'm at season 4, episode 21. I know, I started it 4 days ago. Let's not talk about my sleep schedule, okay? First off, I hate Dawson. If I ever meet season 3 Dawson, it is on site, and I am not kidding about it. I hate that man so much. I hate the fact it's called Dawson's Creek. I'm like, no. Dawson, you're the worst character in this show. He is the worst character in the show. I hate him so much. I honestly do, and it's not even funny. Like, I keep just writing posts online and going on mini side tangent in like Reddit group chats dedicated to it. Just like, I hate Dawson. I hate him so much. Does he have a redemption arc in the later seasons? And I'm just like, wait, no, I don't want to know because spoilers. But I hate Dawson so much. Sometimes I want to strangle him. But I love Pacey. Pacey is one of my favorite characters. I love him. I hate that they just keep giving him emotional trauma baggage, but he's one of my favorite characters. Honestly, in standings of like media I just read, I tend to love the side characters more than the main character. And I don't know why it is. I don't know whether it's because we don't see that much screen time, so they have to be a more well-grounded character to balance against the main character, and they need to be more grounded, so then the main character has like a more sound person to talk to and talk off. I don't know, but why is always the side character a better character? And you're like, no, I'd rather have them be the main character. Like it's always the case. Oh, like Gilmore Girls, everyone loves Paris. So many people love Paris, and at the same time, people get very annoyed with Rory. Every single Gilmore Girls fan, trust me on this, has one season of Rory they cannot stand. My personal skip season is where I will try and avoid watching the majority of Rory's mental crisis at grandparents. I have so many different episodes in about season 5 that I just refuse to watch them. Like, no, I hate this. I hate her in this. I just want to see Paris because Paris makes me happy and it returns to the status quo. Or like in Friends, even though there are 6 core people, like obviously the core people in it are Rachel and Monica, and then Chandler, and then kind of Ross, and then Joey and Phoebe are kind of the side characters more than the main characters in a lot of them because they don't get as many key storylines that are focused. They don't get as many A plots as the other 4. The other 4 get so many A plots compared to Joey and Phoebe, especially Phoebe. Phoebe does not get enough screen time, and I stand by that. Phoebe rarely ever gets an A plot in Friends. Like she is always kind of just the quirky side character, and so is Joey. Joey's always there as like kind of the side character, or is like tagged along to one of the other 4's like main problems, and so is Phoebe. None of them actually have like that many uniquely their things. Like you have the entire, and I think that's kind of just down to the fact that those 2 aren't a couple. Those 2 are just 2 individual people within the friend group, whereas the other 4, 2 are siblings, and then 2 are like, and then obviously 2 sets of lifelong best friends from a very young age, and then you also have from that also in couples, so they're a lot more intertwined, so we see them a lot more. I don't know, but anyway, I'm going off on another tangent. I don't know why it is at the minute. I just really like talking about film and TV. I think it's just because I've just been watching a lot of TV lately. I just love Friends anyway, though. I'm also rewatching that as well. I need to start rewatching TV shows, but like 90s to early 2000s TV sitcoms are peak TV. No one can argue against me with it because like we're in an age of where I think animation is better currently, whereas sitcoms were better in like the 90s and 2000s and like the early 2000s personally. I don't know. Maybe it's just the drama. I do love the drama. Ooh, that's what I'm gonna try and find. I need like a drama-ridden like storyline. I might try and go for my books like that because honestly, I am heading back home, like home, in like 2.5 weeks. That means I need to choose which belongings I'm packing up with me to take home for over the summer and what are being left up here because I'm just like continuing. Well, no, I'm moving, but I'm moving within the same town when I come back up to uni. So like I'm keeping the bulk of my stuff up here, so I don't have to pay to transport it all back home, or like try and get everything back home and just leaving it all up here. But I need to choose what books I'm going to take down with me. I want to take them all, but I don't think I have the room to take them all because I have a lot of books. I have a problem. But like I'm kind of tempted to try and start reading a bunch of them. So if I read a bunch, I don't need to take a bunch home because I've already read them, so I can leave them up here. But also, I like having my books on me because then if I want to reread them, I'm just in a moral dilemma. But like, oh, anyway, a question for you: why are you currently reading, or why are you currently wanting to read? Like currently, I'm just obsessed with Hunger Games stuff. I'm just reading a couple chapters of Sunrise and the Reaping every now and again. I keep picking it up, but at the same time, I kind of just get emotional whiplash every time I pick it up. I'm like, no, I can't read this. I'm too sad. Like, why are you doing this to me? And then my entire social media feed is just bombarded with the casting stuff and the stuff for the on stage because I'm going to see the stage production in October, which I'm really excited for. But also, I'm obviously going to see it in cinema, and I'm just bombarded with it constantly. And I'm kind of having a Hunger Games overload because I also rewatched the entire Hunger Games franchise the other weekend. I have a problem. I really do. I watch way too much film and TV, but also I read a lot, and that maybe I just need to sleep more. Yeah, no, it's like an ongoing debate with my family and friends that I just need to sleep more, and a constant argument of whether you need to go sleep. And to that, I say no. but I am running on like 3 hours of sleep today, so maybe. But anyway, like, I kind of feel like I'm going on a really weird tangent today. I feel like I'm just going to talk it all out. But anyway, I could start a new book series. Also, I need more book recs. And I know I just said I had a ton and ton of books, but like honestly, I want a couple of recommendations of non-romance books because I feel like I only ever talk about and only ever read romance books, and like I would like some recommendations of it. I think I might try to start reading some of my graphic novels I have because I have like How to Kill a Mockingbird as a graphic novel. I also have a couple of other ones, and I'm thinking maybe them, but also I'm thinking like, I could really go for a horror, and I think it's just because I watched the new Final Destination Bloodlines, which was really good. I really enjoyed it. I love Final Destination because it's kind of silly, but like the amount of jump scares that is in it. Am I a lot more distrusting of a lot more things? Yes. Am I ever going to step on a glass floor again? Potentially not. But like, it's a really, really good movie. So, and I'm thinking I'm leaning towards more like maybe some more horror mystery ones. I don't know. Maybe a sci-fi. Like I'm trying to branch more out into sci-fi, but I don't want to do a sci-fi romance because I don't think I know I read dark romance, but I don't think I have the mental bandwidth for that. I barely can get through a dark romantasy because you have like on a scale for like how much mental bandwidth you need. It's like you have romance, you have fantasy, you have dark romance, you have uh, romantasy, which can sometimes be on the same level as dark romance because some of the creatures in romantasy and dark romance characters is kind of like same playing level. It has its ranges, but then when you smush those two together, I can barely stomach a light version of that. Like, because once you smush those two together, you have at least like 2 to 3 pages of trigger warnings just because like, yeah, no, we don't know what the author of this was on, but they cooked. It's going to be one of the life-changing novels you read, but like, are you mentally ready for this? And I don't think I'm mentally ready for sci-fi romances, just because like adding in space and all of that normally throws me through another loophole because I'm a very much science person. That's like why I like fantasy and romance. But the minute someone factors in science, my analytical brain lights up, and it's just like if I'm reading a book that has science involved, I'm like half the time if it's incorrect, I will be correcting them, and it will annoy me, and I will put down the book if they have science. If they have incorrect science terminology in it, like if you're writing a science fiction book and you're using actual science in it, make sure the science is right. I'm just saying, it needs to be right. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves when people write science fiction, and it's why I struggle because like when people write science fiction, even though it's fiction, science fiction is based off science, and if you're basing it off actual scientific findings, but you can't be bothered to report say the correct scientific findings correctly, it annoys me because I'm just like, but you're basing it off actual facts. So if you're basing it off actual facts, use the actual facts in it. It gives it more credibility, and it also makes it more tangible because you're like, wow, I can see this happening in real life. That's why I like certain science fiction because I'm like, this is a genuine possibility because you've based it on an actual scientific finding, and this could actually genuinely happen. That's why I really struggle with science fiction because sometimes it's just like, no, because you're too far out the realm of possibility for you to be called science at this point. You might as well just be a fantasy with an alchemist or something. Anyway, that's one of my pet peeves. But anyway, I've gone on a ramble long enough. So that's today's mini blog. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I didn't ramble too much like an insane person for too long. And let me know what you're currently reading or a book that you would recommend me to read that's a non-romance. Anyway, that's all for today, and you should go read.